Hello everyone, welcome to our Facebook Live, another Facebook Live, and today we're going to talk to you about all you need to know about UAE corporate tax. And I have here Nazima. Nazima, I guess you know her by now. She's our group expert. She comes to all our events and she's been with our community for very long time. And surprise guest we have today with Atik. And Atik, as you can see, or maybe you don't, that's by name, so you don't see them. Atik is Nazima's husband. And together they have this a business. It's called Corporate Finexpertiza. Sorry, why I don't know why corporate came to my house. All right, great. Welcome everyone. I see already people are listening, and I like to have some to say what will about things about Facebook Live. Facebook Live is recorded, can be seen later on that. Second, if you have any comments on this video, please write it. Any questions? It will take a bit of time between what is this happening and seeing your comments. So allow us a few seconds, sometimes it's 30 seconds until we see your question and then to receive your to give your answer. So that's a bit from my side. We'll be here until 1 o'clock, and let's get to it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you for introduction.
Yeah. Okay. I have here Nazima and Atik have given me a list of questions to go through. What we think are very relevant to UAE tax. Corporate tax, and I'm very, very curious about it because, as you know, we all have trade licenses, and it's a very how do I say it's important, right? We're gonna be in line. So we'll ask you the first question, and here is: when will UAE corporate tax regime become effective?
It will start from 1st of July 2023. So I can when you will start paying. So first, can you hear me all right?
Very well. Yes, Nazima.
First from June 2023.
1st of June. Sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry. 1st of June 2023. Sorry. Yeah. But when you start paying, like suppose your business has not yet started, you're going to start end of the June or like say 1st of July 2023. Okay. So you're going to pay your finance is starting from 1st July 2023 and ending on 30th June 2024. So you will start paying your tax from 1st July 2023. You got my point, right? So you already, yeah, okay. So like if Mr. Atik can explain that very well, can you first this? Yeah.
Yeah, so that corporate tax is effective from June 1, 2023 in UAE. Yeah. This is depending if you have a financial year starting from June 2023. But if your financial starts later than that, let's say, or before that 1st of January, then your corporate rate tax will become effective in the next year. For instance, if your financial year in this 1st of January and ending on 31st of December, your first taxable period will start in 1st of January 2024.
So, yeah.
But if your year end is, let's say, June, okay, so since it is already effective on 1st of June, your taxable period starts from 1st of July, like Nazima said, 2023.
Thank you. And how do I know when my taxation starts, when my year starts? We are new to business. I don't have that figure out.
Before we proceed, Dana, I would like to have a disclaimer because, corporate tax or any kind of tax is a very technical subject and it's very fluid and keeps on changing. So as a disclaimer, I would like to say that my firm and myself, these views are our opinion as per the interpretation by our side of the law of tax, and this is relevant for the time being, and as it keeps on changing, you will have to update your sources and update yourself on the tax laws. So here, when you ask the question about what is applicable for you, it depends on your financial year end. every company has a financial year end. So in UAE, most of the companies' financial year end is Jan to December. Okay. So if you are in Jan to December, the taxable period for you will be applicable from 2024.
Okay. Does that mean I will start to pay tax from 2024?
24.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how are the rates? What rates would apply to us?
Okay. Actually, there are three steps of rate with respect to corporate tax. There is a 0% rate, which is basically for incomes of 375,000 dirhams or less. Okay. And there is 9% corporate tax on the profits of anything exceeding 375,000. Now, this is applicable for mainland companies. If you are a free zone company, then you still enjoy the 0% corporate rate, provided you are earning your revenues from qualifying income. Basically, it means export business.
Okay. I have.
And
Yes,
and I
yes,
need to add, yeah, but still, like he said that it's a 0% tax, but still you have to file 0% and you have to register for the tax also, free zone company as well.
Okay, got it. So small businesses under 375,000, they don't need to pay either mainland or free zone. And if it is free zone, even over that, they will not pay corporate tax
That's
if they do it with export.
True.
Okay.
There's one more category which is called a small business relief, which is applicable for companies in the mainland which have a turnover of 3 million or less. Here you have an option. If your company's revenue is 3 million or less, you can opt to be an SME, wherein you get, even if your profits are above that, you will not be taxed. And this is applicable only for the period up to 2026. Thereafter, the same thing will apply to those companies as well.
Okay. All right. I have a question here online. Said, what is the qualifying income?
Okay. Qualifying income basically has the category with respect to a free zone entity. So these are primarily, it has got many technical things, but since we have a very short time, I'll just put in a shortly that this is basically any export business which that free zone company would have, or any free zone to free zone business. So a Jebel Ali free zone selling to Sharjah free zone, that also is a qualifying income, and a Jebel Ali free zone exporting to China or Europe, that is also a qualifying income. This is in short I can explain.
Okay. All right. So come back to my question. I follow-up question on that. It was, I have two licenses. One is a business coach, which is on Sharjah Free Zone, and I have one as mompreneur, who is a mainland. So I have two. Okay. So on the free zone, on the Sharjah Free Zone, I'm not exporting. It's service.
It's a service license. Yeah.
It's a service license.
It's a service license.
Yeah. So do I pay a corporate tax?
With respect to the mainland company, of course, if your threshold of income profit surpasses 375,000, you will have to pay your tax on that amount. With respect to free zone, there is a gray area. With respect to service companies, okay. So because according to the wording of the law, they are talking about products and other things, but not of services. So we still have to receive the clarification whether service-oriented companies will be allowed as a qualifying income for free zones.
Okay. All right. Moving on. What I have one here is, what is tax applicable to small business? But I think we already answered that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving to the next question is, what step small businesses should take to avoid any penalties?
Okay. Nazima, would you like to take that? Okay. Basically, for any kind of tax-related matters, one is the preparation. Okay. So all entities who are going to be taxable, which most of us are going to be, hopefully, so they have to make sure that the documentation and their accounts are in order. Okay, so this is for the reason that when you are saying, when you are filing a return, that my income is less 500,000, so I'm applicable, my tax is on 125,000, which is basically 500,000 minus 375,000. So you will be paying tax on 125,000. But to claim that this is what you have earned, you will have to have the support of your accounting team as well as proper documentation. Now, documentation again is a very vast subject because you will be dealing with both third parties. You might be drawing salaries from your business. You will be having maybe related party transactions, which is we can take it out in another session, I guess.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think bigger companies, they will have their in-house, or they will have someone like you hired to do their finances.
Yeah, but you
Now the
can.
distinction here is it will now, whether you are a small company or a large company, maintaining accounting records is mandatory. Okay, so that is no way either way before the tax and after that, it has been mandatory. So I strongly recommend that you have proper records to have for your accounts.
Because ignorance is not like you can just say that I was not aware about it. Educate yourself regarding the tax, learn and try to maintain your account and bookkeeping. Either you can outsource accountant or you can hire, because hiring accountant will be expensive for you. So there are many outsource account which can come 1 or 2 days to your office or online, and they can update your account. So it's very important. Otherwise, there'll be heavy taxation. So like you said, my business is small, I'm not required to pay 9%, but still you have to file the tax, even 0%, and you have to prove that you are a small business. So especially small businesses have to be very careful. Don't ignore this. Maintain your books of accounting, very important. That's what I want to add on that.
Okay. Okay. Great. I have a question here. I have just set up a free zone company and expect my revenue to be under 370,000 K. I understand I do not need to pay corporate tax or VAT. Is there any other consideration? Do I need to file to get TRN number at all?
Now, this is out of the context question. It is related to VAT. So VAT is dependent whether you are an export business or not. So we will have to take it separately. But with respect to corporate tax, one needs to understand that this is a tax on profit, not on revenue. So if you are, let's say, total revenue of even above 300,000, 375,000 or a million even, but your net profit is below 375,000, then you will be paying 0% tax rate. But nevertheless, having said that, you will still have to register with the FTA, your entity, and file a return when the time comes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Is this the right question? Now to ask how can someone can register for that? For for
Of
tax?
course, there is a portal from the FTA called Imara Tax, and wherein companies can log in and they have specific details, and it is little bit complex process. At the moment, this portal is open only for large companies, public listed companies, large companies, as well as LLC companies. For the free zone and smaller enterprise will be in the next phase. So I think here again, it will be ideal for even the smaller enterprise to take professional help so they don't make mistakes there.
Mistakes, yeah, registration mistakes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. So the moment it's not for small businesses, just for large business.
Large business, yeah.
Okay. And LLC. Okay.
That is for the moment. Eventually, it will open up for all entities.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
FTA is making it phase wise.
Yeah. They do that. Okay. Great. 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 Now, I have a question here, and I'd like you to tell me what exactly I'm asking. Is, are my existing related party transactions in compliance with the arm's length of transfer pricing requirements? What did I just say?
See, basically, related party is any company or individual who you do any kind of transaction. A related party up to the 4 degree of relations, brother, sister, uncle, aunts, all of this are as per the relations. Apart from that, if there is any connection, there is a management similarity or the shareholding pattern is similar, where you control some influence over that entity, then you are termed as a related party. That is what related party means. Now, what the FTA UAE, as per the corporate tax law, all entities are expected to do those transactions at arm's length. Now, one would ask, what is an arm's length? It would mean that if you are entering, let's say, you have another company owned by one of your brothers, and you are selling that goods or services to that company, but you charge more or less than your other customers, or you allow more credit period to that company than your normal third party customers. So here, in this case, you are not doing that transaction on arm's length. So as per the law, corporate tax law, you will have to plow back and come back to the arm's length and add that part to your profit. So it relates to all kind of related party transaction, which again, all whether it is SME or large companies, they have to maintain. For the larger companies, there are still more stringent requirements. There's a lot of documentation they need to create with respect to a master file or a local file, which is not relevant for SME, but nevertheless, SME will still have to justify that any dealings with a related party or a connected person is at arm's length. This includes the salary paid to the partners or any kind of remuneration paid to a party. So you will have to justify why that salary or remuneration would be similar if you are hiring somebody of a similar experience, stature, and other. I guess that answers your question.
Yeah, I understand. Is it because they don't want people to do some, tricks, some special
Tricks,
deals?
yes.
Yeah, this is not uncommon. This is around the world, the same kind of rules apply. So
Yeah.
let's say some of your relative steps into your company and he says, okay, I want to buy this. You want to do him a favor, and perhaps you will give that item free to him. You would have not sold that item to any third party at below cost or zero or even something below. So in that case, it will be understood that this is a deemed sale at a price you would have charged to other customers.
Okay. Yeah. So the whatever the government, the country will
Yeah.
not lose just because you do some special deals. They
Exactly.
still want their money.
Yeah, you
Yes.
don't do specialty to reduce your profit. Like suppose,
Yeah.
especially in consultancy, like you have brothers, sisters, you are giving them more consultancy if you to reduce your profit. So
Yeah.
you have to be very careful in that case.
Okay. That's very, very good to
Yeah.
know. Very good to know. All right. Moving to the next question. Will my internal organization and systems be able to cope with corporate tax from June 1st? And what changes are needed to build sustainable process around compliance and reporting?
Okay, of course, there is obviously uh, when you fall into the bracket of taxable thing, you will have to make sure that your systems and your accounting and your documents are compliant to the tax requirements. So, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, your accounting should be proper and it should be supported by the right documents to make sure that whatever income and expenses you are doing are properly documented and they are at arm's length. So you will have to ensure that your systems are proper, okay, and then your documentation process would also has to be sustainable. To as per the UAE law, you are required to maintain your corporate support documents for a minimum period of 5 years.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so you need to ensure that you have all those records and your systems are proper to make sure that you don't fall into any trouble.
Okay. 5 years. Okay, that's interesting. That's in 5 years we need to keep them.
Of
That's
And
right.
records, yes. Yeah.
and if they are like I have some mostly in my computer.
Yeah.
They are okay? Like
Okay.
electronic
See,
format?
it will depend on the. This is again a question with respect to the law of
Okay.
documents. So
Okay.
UAE courts, depending on the complexity of the thing and how important it is, they might consider a soft copy, or they might want you to have maintain hard copies. But for smaller businesses, mostly we have seen, as per our experience, I have been working in UAE for more than 25 years now. So the normals for smaller transactions, regular transactions, soft copies are sufficient.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Next question. If any people are watching, if they have any questions, please write them here so we can answer to you. And if not, we're gonna move on. Okay, good. So Yeah, it's lagging. So now we are writing. I don't see it. It'll take some minute. Let's then go on with the question, and if something
Sure.
comes, we'll answer
Sure.
as it comes. Okay. So moving on. Will my organization entities in the UAE will be able to be consolidated into one filing group, and are there any benefits in doing so? Like I have
Okay.
two, right?
So
Yes,
here
yeah.
there is a very complex requirement for as far as the corporate taxes law says that the shareholding and the management, there are certain requirements which needs to be fulfilled. Then only you will be considered as a group as far as tax is concerned. And just broadly, I will explain that if the shareholding between the group companies is 95% same, so if like a shareholder of one company holds 95% of other companies, and there are other requirements to be met as well, then perhaps you can group that. In other cases, there are, of course, this is again many technical things have to be involved. So most companies might not be able to consolidate as far as tax is concerned. Having said that, if they are not able to consolidate it, the question about related party transactions, arm's length transaction will come into play. So there are, you have to be careful there.
Okay. For me, would be, in my case, would be the same, right? Because I'm
Same.
Yes.
just
So
solo
you will
100.
have
entrepreneur.
to, if it is 100% same shareholding pattern, then perhaps we will have to look at what other aspects there are there, and then perhaps you can consolidate.
Okay.
Consolidate.
That's good to know, because I assume I'm not the only one who have two different licenses.
Hmm.
Okay. So have you guys? Okay. Question. I'm not sure what I'm asking. It's a long question. Have we evaluated our operations and existing structure, like contracts or obligations that extend into 223 cross-border activities between mainland and free zone entities? And if impacted, what planning and changes can be implemented prior to June 1st?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. See, of course, the businesses were there before the advent of corporate tax. So having said that, let's say organizers are existing for several years now. So it is quite possible that you will have contracts with your customers, your suppliers. We are overlapping the non-taxable period as well as the taxable
Text.
period. Okay, so let's say you signed a contract on 1st of July 2023 and it goes to next year for 1 year. So one period or 6 months might be not taxable, the other 6 months are taxable. So when you're drawing that contract, you need to understand that there will be tax implications, how it will impact that contract. Okay, so those kind of aspects, the contract should be flexible enough to cover, to protect your organization. Okay, so this applies to all areas of business.
Okay. Would it be because you would want to add that 9%? So if we pay tax, do we, like VAT, do we add that to our invoices?
Now, this being a direct tax, you cannot do that. It's a tax on corporate income, so you will not be able to add it to your invoices. But this is a very important question you raised here. Even for the smaller companies, this is quite important because they might think that my income is below 375,000, so I might not bother of all of these requirements. But do keep in mind that you will have suppliers who will be in the bracket of tax and they are not probably going to absorb that tax themselves. So it is quite likely that they will raise the prices of their product or services. Now, having to an extension of that, let's say you are now going to be taxed, and let's say your tax you are paying 100,000 as tax. Are you going to absorb that tax, or would you pass it to your
Plus.
customers? So, and this is a two-fledged sword, which one has to maneuver and take the right stance. In most scenarios, entities and organizations will tend to pass the cost to the customer, if not immediately, over a period of time.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
Thank you.
like I want to add one thing. Like when we make invoices for the, we always put 5% VAT in the invoices, but corporate tax you cannot put like this directly. So to be very careful while raising the invoices.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We have a question here. Is it a must to have contracts with partners? Can we just work on invoice basis with no official contract?
Okay, it depends on what kind of transactions you are entering with the partners. Yes, it is absolutely necessary that you should have documentary evidence with respect to any transactions which you enter not only with your partners but with third parties as well and related parties. So let's say you are paying salary to a partner, or you are paying some sort of other benefits to the partner, then that has to be properly documented that this is the salary scale they are offering. And for instance, one of the partners was 20,000 dirhams per month or 30,000, whatever the amount is. It has to be justified why that amount is this amount. Had you hired a third person instead of that, would you pay the same amount? So that is considered arm's length.
Absolutely.
Same applies to the benefits.
Yes.
So to prove that, you will have to have the right documentation.
Okay. All right. Atik and Nazima, thank you very much. We have
Thank you.
4 minutes left. So I wonder if there's, I have a few more questions, but I will not go through it. Is there anything that you like to add that we must know about corporate tax?
Okay. Of course, one serious takeaway which all organizations should do is that gone are the days when you would do business and everything money comes into your personal account or goes to your bank account and you need not bother about maintaining documentation. Those days are gone. Okay. So now you have to be compliant in every sense of the law. Okay. This would mean that you have to maintain documents. This would mean that the cost of operation will increase. Okay, so having said that, you need to be prepared. And if you are dealing, because there are lots of companies in UAE who are doing lots of transactions with related parties, this has to be proper formalized. Whether you are taking a loan from your husband or a related party, if you are sharing resources, like the same car is used by the two companies, all of that has to be properly documented. So please make sure that even if you're SME, you need to do that, and registration is mandatory even if you're a SME, even if you're micro-organized.
Yeah. And get the corporate bank account also. Like, people don't use your personal account, get the corporate bank account. So that too, as soon as possible. Everyone.
Okay, thank you. And before we go, you guys, you do this for a living. This is your business, and how can you help us?
Okay, Finexpertiza UAE is one of the global networks. We have offices around the globe. We are the top 30 accounting and tax network in the world. We have a full-fledged tax team, accounting team, auditing team. So any kind of professional advice, we'll be able to help you. We assist our clients in even handling process for things like getting yourself registered on the for the VAT, corporate tax, advising on what kind of records you're supposed to maintain. If you don't have an accounting team, we can help you either full-time, part-time accounting services. We can guide you on how to take care of your related party documentation. It's a full bouquet of services we offer, and we have got extensive experience within UAE of more than, it's my 27th year in the UAE. Same business, same kind of services. I am a regular expert commentator with all the major UAE dailies, and we have a very capable and qualified and experienced team to help you out.
Yeah, and for mompreneurs, if you need any help in the registration, everything we will do. Of course, Dana, we give very good price or fees, the very low fees. We can assist to the mompreneurs and advise also, no problem. You can contact me anytime.
Okay, all right. Because I was thinking you might work with high-profile companies, and I'm sure there are mompreneurs of high-profile companies that are there.
Yeah, there are many. Yes,
ones are with less. What can you do for them? Like you say, special price and advice.
Of course, we'll try our best. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For the mompreneurs, don't worry.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. It was a pleasure having you today here, Atik. Thank you very much for your time. Nazima, lovely seeing you again.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. And if you have any questions, you can approach Nazima or myself, and we'll take it.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye.